While factual reporting is a hallmark of journalism, I find it cathartic and constructive to offer opinion on occasion. It is no small secret that Congress is as old and as unpopular as it has ever been. Career politicians win safe seats until they coat those seats with the dust of their decaying biomass. Seemingly, the one topic everybody but Congress can agree on is the need for term and or age limits in Congress. Polls show a staggering 74 to 87% support nationwide for congressional terms, and 76 to 92% of Americans support age limits. So if over 3/4 of the country supports both, well exceeding the state and congressional thresholds for constitutional amendments, then why hasn't it been implemented? Well, the powerful rarely enjoy giving up their power, and Congress is just about as greedy as it has ever been. I'm going to ignore term limits for now as it doesn't directly pertain to my point, but age limits are where I think real progress can be made in diversifying the age pool of Congress. Apart from the obvious result of ousting the decrepit party sycophants, an age limit would create downward pressure for both parties to groom and train younger candidates for higher office. The age limit doesn't even need to be particularly low either. Let's run a thought experiment. Say the age limit is 80. An incumbent is coming to that age in their next term and can't seek re-election. Nowadays, the incumbent party might push a senior party member who has been bouncing around state legislatures and governorships for decades. He or she may be pushing 60 or 70, but with an age limit, the incumbent's party wouldn't want to back this old horse because they have a time limit on their seat. Unlike today, they could not just sit in their safe seat until they start freezing on live TV or leave their constituents wondering if they're dead or not. So what does the party do? The obvious option would be to find and groom young candidates and help them move up the political ladder through local and state government until they're ready to jump to national. This has the bonus of keeping a fresh rotating cycle of young and local state legislatures, which more accurately represents their constituency. Of course, you could run into an issue like the Supreme Court, where parties push the youngest possible candidates to keep them in power as long as possible, but that could be solved with term limits, which again is another issue for another time. None of this is even remotely radical either. Age limits exist all across the world for legislatures, including Canada's senators who are required to retire at 75. Even Catholic cardinals cannot vote in the papal conclave after the age of 80. Why does it seem like the Catholic Church has a better grasp on democracy than the United States? And for you capitalism purists out there, fewer than 1% of large public company CEOs are 78 or older. At the end of the day, Congress can keep getting older and greedier, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. This is just meaningless ranting, since the only ones who can implement age limits are the same people who are limited by them, with one exception that may be our only hope. The only way amendments have ever been proposed is through a 2/3 vote in both houses of Congress. But there is another way to propose and pass an amendment that bypasses Congress entirely, almost entirely. A constitutional convention has only ever happened when delegates from the original states came together to revise the Articles of Confederation, ultimately writing an entirely new document, the United States Constitution. If 2/3 of the states, which is 34 at this time, call for a convention, then Congress is required to call for one by Article 5 of the Constitution. At this convention, the three-quarters of states, which is currently 38, would need to approve the amendment for it to be ratified. This process seems to be the only one that could limit Congress in any way, since they clearly don't have the morality or spine to do it themselves. It hasn't happened before, but given how popular this measure is with voters and how unpopular Congress is currently, I don't see it as impossible that 38 states come together and actually agree on something.